Wasting no time, I leap out the door and don't look back. My feet pound against the floor in rhythm with the loud, fast beating of my heart. By the time I run past the hallway and find myself atop the grand staircase, my chest feels so tight like it's going to burst. But that's nothing compared to the feeling of hope the sight of the exit gives me. Racing down the stairs, a breathy laugh escapes me, and my shoe slips and I find myself falling. Oh my god. Until my back hits the ground and pain wrecks my body. Oh, fuck's sake, man. My head grows fuzzy and my vision dims as I fight to stay conscious.
No. Go away.
The last thing I see are those feet before all I know is darkness. Oh my god, journal updated. What does it say? While looking for a missing co-agent, Isabella Santos found a mysterious letter in the Ermengarde Mansion's attic. Driven to fear by what she read inside, thinking it's the place's curse at work, she hurried to leave the place, only to meet what? How do I turn the page? It won't tell me. ...
Write off your loss, send letters goodbye. I won't forget you, though your life fades away as I wither in this world filled with regret. Hold my hand and leave. Please don't leave me be. In these bloody halls where we shed our tears, the darkness breaks, our memories alone remain. I reach out beyond the curtain black. I'm in too deep, so this letter I write. I want to be free, together by your side. And spend eternity in this lonely place we call home.
A buzz breaks the silence. Oh my god, that was so cool. I start to rouse, pulled into consciousness against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. I just want to sleep, but the insistent buzzing, poking and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
Isabella.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away at what is nudging persistently at my side. Can I just get a few more extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. This is like me every day. A hand lightly taps my cheek and something cold is suddenly being pressed at the back of my head. The icy sensation slowly spreads throughout the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling.
It's your house. Isabella? Isabella? Stop. Can you hear me? Isabella?
The fog of unconsciousness immediately lifts from my mind the moment I recognize the voice and my eyes snap open. There, looking down at me, is Rose. Oh my god. She's alive. We're good. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there's someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry, although she is keeping a straight face, or trying at least. I can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily it subsides after a few seconds, until only a mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. With a little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it, where I suspect a small bump has already formed, if the light ache in the area is any indication.
Alright, Isabella, where are we?
The Ermengarde Mansion. Why? Ow, my head.
Just had a little accident, you know.
And the date today?
21st of October?
October 21st?
Oh, what a guess.
Rose.
From the journal.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12, no. That's wrong.
A for effort.
Why are we doing this?
She's just checking to see if your injury is in any way serious.
This time, I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her, what with the way she towers over us. And here I thought Rose is already tall. Who is she anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews? But with how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean in a suit. An expensive suit at that. The gloves alone must have already cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression, before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She may be far from a cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like my supervisor during evaluation days.
Just do it, please.
I eye them both warily, but recite everything as she has asked. Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance when you started stirring. Are you alright?
Do I look okay? I freaking just saw a ghost. Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. The memory's a little bit fuzzy, but the attic? And...
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
oops.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews.
Yeah, well, it does look like she's been cleaning herself, that's for sure.
The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
No, not any of those. They're, I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady look at me like I've just grown another head. Did I say something weird? Rose casts an apologetic smile at the woman beside her before the awkward silence stretches on further. It's her saleswoman smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. I shouldn't show this to troublesome clients, or just to avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Great. Her eyes are serious when she turns back to me. She takes both my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with as much patience as she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you.
What?
You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call.
So you didn't see anyone with bloody feet, big bulging eyes, and a crazy hairdo?
Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really alright? What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry. I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's... whoever it is. Then I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open. We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Hey, okay, you don't know what I just been through. It's a traumatic event.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait. Hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale because of a minor bump in the head. An extremely minor bump. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house, alone. And in a mansion this big?
Well, there's also the part where I may lose that bonus BRC promised. But that's completely besides the point. Yeah, I'll have to keep eating my ramen. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase's railings to steady myself, but otherwise, I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
The two of them exchange a worried glance, and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation. If she says no...
Alright, you in.
Yes! We won. A smile threatens to slip out from me. Ooh, better calm down.
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
You just want all the money.
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
You shouldn't downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the walls of the foyer, interrupting our banter. The woman is looking expectantly at the two of us, her stare making me shrink back a little on myself. She isn't really intimidating. Yeah, no, she's trying really hard, isn't she? ... Well, she is. But not in the scary negative way. Far from it, actually. Her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. She ain't getting it from me. She hasn't even got her coat on properly, man. In a different world, a younger me would probably wished to be like her. She coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my tongue, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my own blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
It's got the smile again.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
Yeah, definitely try-hard, sophisticated. She hands Rose her business card. Marianne McCulloch. Traley Rose Designs. Interior designer. X-Mail. Sounds kinky. The words interior designer catch my eyes before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I won't hold it against her though. Despite the hearsays and remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fittings and furniture have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing. After all, with what it offers, this place is definite haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough.
It's Miss McClough. Like Van Gogh, you know?
In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please...
Thanks. There's no need for it though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place.
She's Irish, it sounds like.
I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
The confused look on Rose's face is impossible to miss when she glances at me. I return it with an equally perplexed look. And against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind. Oh no.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. No, she's giving me that look. A flash of irritation crosses her face, but it instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? I was hired by her to handle the interior design for their newly bought home.
Wait, what?
This is the Ermengarde Mansion, right?
Someone's already bought it?
It is, but...
She pauses, possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Rose nudges me with her elbow. I don't know.
We're sorry, ma'am. We don't really know what's going on here.
That's probably not a good idea. Marianne. Oh, that's her. Oh god, we just lost some relationship. Probably should have just pretended, you know, that I'd try and help out.
If it's okay, maybe we can...
Aren't you the ones in charge here? How can you not know what's going on here?
Yeah, that's like Salesman 101. You're not supposed to say that you don't know what the hell's going on.
You see, Miss McCullough, right now the house is...
Well, yeah, Isabella's nervous, you know, she just had a bit of a slip, you know. Amazing how she can keep her voice level yet still convey utter displeasure with it. I've dealt with people acting the opposite before, and if I were to choose, it's much easier to handle clients who talk your ear off when angry. People like her are the hardest to read. Beside me, I shoot Rose a pleading look. She returns a glare before taking the reins from me in an attempt to smooth out the situation. There's a promise in it that we will be talking about this later. I'm not looking forward to that at all. Sorry. What can I do? She can deal with the situation better than me. Who knows what will come out of my mouth if she lets me handle this on my own.
We're really sorry, ma'am. My partner's probably still a bit winded from her fall.
If she's unwell, then she shouldn't be working here right now.
Calm down. She raises a hand to rub the side of her temple, as if staving off the beginnings of a headache.
Never mind that. I just want to know what's going on here. I was led to believe that this house has already been bought by my client and my services are needed for the house's interior design.
Get stuffed, man. We're selling this house. No one's bought it yet.
Perhaps there's been a confusion then. We haven't heard anything from our supervisors regarding a closed deal for this property yet. In fact, today's only the first day of our open house. If you wish, we can call them and confirm for you.
See, you're supposed to say that first.
That wouldn't be necessary, but thank you for being direct with me, Miss Cooper. I already thought something was a little odd earlier. If you'll excuse me, I also have a call to make to my secretary.
Go on. With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us, presumably to double-check with someone on her side. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxborn office and check, even if she didn't ask for it. I'll be very frustrated if for some reason an agreement has already been decided without my or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCullough returns, looking a little frustrated, but an apology clear in her face. You can already tell I'm showing some disdain for good old Marianne here. I feel a little sorry for her having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here. I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
Yeah, okay.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive. And, Isabella? I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those.
Absolutely.
Can you please get it for me?
Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys.
And hurry! We've still got a few minutes to double-check those papers.
Okay, got it. Give me a few minutes.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor's door. Journal updated. Ah, there we go. There's the next page. Only to meet. Nothing. It's blank. It won't tell me. Marianne McCullough, I guess. Oh, meet Rose Cooper, along with a woman who introduced herself as Marianne McCullough. Found Isabella Santos, lying unconscious. Oh no, sorry, it was a different sentence altogether. In the mansion's foyer before the open houses start. Unable to recall what happened prior, Isabella insisted on working, despite her co-agent's worries about her well-being. Their departure brings with it a hushed stillness to keep me company, neither comforting nor soothing. Oh god, can I please just get to the car? This alone, it's impossible to not think of what truly happened earlier. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive any call from me. Was it just my paranoia at work? A temporary lapse in my own mind after heard all those tales about this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such. Better to think of it as such, so I could work in peace. Except a small part of my mind begs to differ. And if I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's in this house, and I don't want to know. The keys Rose have just handed me dig into my palm. Its jagged edges creating shallow ridges on my skin from how hard I'm clutching it. It's a cursory reminder of what I still need to do and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer close to my body, I exit the house to get what Rose has asked from me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, we're going outside, it's fine. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we have officially opened the doors. Hope they don't see what I just saw. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or underdressed standing in their presence. Probably underdressed. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colours, compose the medium-sized crowd. Their necks, arms and fingers are adorned with silver and gold, glinting in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. I really hope there aren't any magpies living in nearby like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. They are murmuring something among themselves. They are murmuring among themselves, looking at the estate's facade appraisingly, with some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased about being ordered around, but what can they do about it? For trying to sell them a bloody house.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos.
Hello.
We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Ooh, they're talking about it like in the English system. Because like in America, you've got the first floor, right? And the second floor. And everywhere else it's called the ground floor and the first floor. Hearing this, a few wander towards me. They are mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs. Miss McCullough also joins our group, but what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches. Ooh, fancy. They were in the intro.
It's so nice to finally meet you! When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you!
Yeah, he also claimed ownership of the house, you bloody tosser.
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
Oh, you know each other?
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
Ooh, bit of miscommunication. They must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before. Some magazine? Or the television? I can't quite remember. But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news one way or another. I won't be surprised if these two have too. For people who are popular though, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others. And in their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn the heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind though. I bet he doesn't. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'd say he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact. Peas in a pod. I'll think they're brother and sister if it wasn't for that public display of affection. The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they are, indeed, a couple. My only sunshine. Oh, adorable. Whatever. Couple or not, what's important is we get this deal closed before the current owners can even think of cancelling the listing agreement. I just hope one of the people in my or Rose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. Journal updated. When they aren't whispering among themselves or going ooh and ah for one thing or another, they ask questions. Let me just check the journal real quick. Today marked the open house of the infamous Ermengarde Mansion. Open to the public for the first time in years, Luxbourne's most esteemed and prominent personalities gathered to catch a glimpse of the 17th century property, including Luxbourne's most well-known couple, Luke and Hannah Wright. Oh, that must be them. The ones following Marianne. From how the restoration process went to the history of the place, I answer them all, more than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Yeah, probably best if we just keep that under wraps. Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxbourne knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty.
Even the glass thing. Colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 17th century original.
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I start talking, her attention is already elsewhere. Oh, great.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Oh my god, this is 17th century goodness, Mr. in Grey. You're Luke, and she's Hannah. These are the two people that I have hardly any relationship with. Obviously, because I've just met them. Makes sense now. It's not hate, it's just you don't know them, they're just acquaintances.
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
Mom, you haven't finalized anything with an agent yet. I would really advise against making plans this early when...
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
Jeez, pretty sure of yourself, aren't you? The rest of that conversation gets lost in the chatter of our other companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give some semblance of hope. Oh, please, please, please let these guys be the one. Eventually our group reaches the kitchen. Oh, we haven't seen this part yet. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put into retaining the room's classical appeal. Look at that little trapdoor there. The open hearth at the end of the room in particular looks amazing, like the ones I only see in fairy tale books before. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously, after overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the soot and tar staining the bricks, and how much of a pain in the arse cleaning this will be, they still managed to pull this off. Or make it look presentable at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Not the knives and pans, I'm supposing?
Oh, don't say anything yet! An underground wine cellar!
Even better. This is the first time the guy in grey speaks up. Mr. Luke Wright, my memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. His sudden attentiveness catches me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife has shown any form of genuine interest in the place. But this time, something lights up in his eyes at the mention of the undercroft. What's so interesting about a basement? I really don't understand rich people sometimes. Right now, he just gives me the impression of a child who has just seen what he absolutely wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute whenever I see children act that way, my younger siblings especially. On a grown man, it's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
That's a lot of wine.
Truly. And the room? How was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar have been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room.
So scripted, Isabella. Well done. Stick to your salesman pitch.
It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
Saleswoman pitch.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
bulldoze the house, keep the cellar. And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde Mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it.
That's big.
We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
There's a contemplative expression on Mr. Wright's face, but he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased that he has started to show interest, if only a little. I smile to myself. I may not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure as hell know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score! I can't wait to tell Rose. The rest of the tour goes by without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor and are heading to the pub. Funny, the first time we surveyed the property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now I can't even bring myself to care, no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a prospective sale. Ah, the parlor. When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off as small goosebumps on my skin. So I'm just listening to what the hell that is. A feeling of being watched intently. Whispers in my ear and shadows dancing, lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look to see what it is. A chill that settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break into a cold sweat. Where's my guests? I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I can just...
Excuse me? Everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor.
15 minutes, that's crazy.
In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we prepared. If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
No ghosts though, please. Ghosts, just stay on the walls. Thank you. I let them sit while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I've probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while. The same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer. Until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello? You there?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am?
Oh, look at you! Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting.
Yeah, just a peasant, not like you royalty.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job.
What a hard worker!
Anyway, Isabel, right? Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right? Please, just Hana. Call me Hana.
Oh, Hana now.
I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
So sophisticated. My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. These people are really intent on getting this property. Is she being serious? She looks at me expectantly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see, but we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further, putting a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she has tasted a particularly sour lemon.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem.
Then,
And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
these people in the pictures in the background, they were in the main hall as well. Curious about them.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, Ma'am Hana. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Perhaps I'm still not feeling well. But really, what's wrong with cats? More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person. But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon.
Jeez.
And it would be so wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork.
Score, I guess.
We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
Yeah. I struggle not to wince when her nails dig into my shoulder. Ouch. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCulloch, who only looks away with a sigh. I'm guessing if my relationship was better, she'd look a bit more concerned.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers from my hand and shuffles through the bunch. Oh man, Rose is gonna be so angry at me for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
Jeez, just walking like they own the place.
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel.
Isabella?
Isabella.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna call you Hannah then, okay?
It's Isabella. Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and...
At least get my name right.
What's this?
A look of confusion and disgust is apparent on her face. D-list horror proposition she will unlock. Turning to her husband, he merely shrugs in reply. Oh god, is it the letter?
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with, what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Mom. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course. It has to always work with a palette.
It's the letter.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
So the letter does exist and it's real. It's my turn to be puzzled. What do they mean? Rose and I double-checked everything earlier. Are the papers I handed not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. But with the way Ma'am Hannah... No, I'm going to call her Hannah. She's scuff. She's ruined my name a dozens of times. Hannah's leading the conversation. I'm afraid that's exactly what will happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
A smile is back on her lips when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
I don't hear the rest of what she says after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter in my hands. The sides crinkle in my grip and my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my mind.
Isabella? Isabella? Are you alright? You're looking pale.
I don't even notice when Rose, as well as the other group touring the mansion, joins us in the parlor. I want nothing more than to say, no, I'm not alright. I want to leave this place, because I remember everything as clear as day. This letter, and that woman, in the attic.